24. Cal shoved his way through the crowd, scanning for any sign of Ovette. The Bay District's market stalls paled in comparison to Yundis's central bazaar, but still drew enough local attention to hinder his progress. People haggled over the expensive wares or gossiped about the latest scandal, forming a living, breathing barrier. Some shot him second glances, whispers of, "He looks familiar." Another problem for another time. Ovette was in danger, danger that grew with each passing second. Ovette! Cal hoped in vain that she might respond, when in reality, all it did was draw more attention. He grabbed the nearest person, a man in his late 40s with white hair and the chin whiskers to match, and spun her around. "Have you seen a girl run through here? White hair, looking frightened." "What's going on?" The man's words fell out of him, tripping over either fear or the sheer audacity of being manhandled by a stranger. Cal sharpened his glare, enough to hurry the man's grumbling along. She ran by just a moment ago." "Which direction?" Cal gripped the man's shoulders. "There," he pointed. "Toward the—" The man's pupils widened as recognition took hold. His mumbling returned, and he quivered in Cal's grasp. "It's you! You're the—" Fear replaced recognition. "Guards! Guards! Help!" "Hoy, you! What are you doing?" A voice barked behind Cal. Cal didn't have time to waste on checking who it was. In one quick motion, he yanked the scared man by his shoulders, throwing him into the approaching threat. The man hit someone with a huff, and Cal sprinted further into the crowd. "Stop him!" He barreled through people with wanton abandon. His heartbeat spiked as a flash of white hair dipped and wove through bodies ahead. Ovette, so close. Flecks of dirt covered her white dress. The hemline ripped in several places. She looked more like a beggar than a lady of means. The crowd gave her a wide berth, despite her many frantic pleas for aid. "Ovette! Wait!" Cal shouted. She turned. Panic twisted her features, enough to renew her desire to flee, straight into a patrolling group of prefects. Cal slowed to a stop. Dread tightened his muscles, but not at Ovette tugging the lead prefect's clothing, not at the other disgusted stares, at the figure in black armor with a golden spire in its center. The lead prefect grabbed Ovette by the arm and hauled her away. She fought, struggling in his grasp, pulling against his grip, screaming for help. No one from the crowd moved. No one even looked. The Inquisitor shoved the prefect aside. Ovette stumbled, but regained her footing and renewed her pleas with Ernest, only to be met with a backhand that sent her reeling. As she staggered to regain her composure, the Inquisitor grabbed a fistful of her hair and slammed her to the ground. Cal darted forward. He dipped his shoulder and charged, tackling the Inquisitor. They tumbled. Pain blazed through his shoulder as he rolled atop the man. "Run!" he barked at Ovette. Panicked and confused, she scrambled forward and took off down the street. The prefects gave chase, ignoring Cal and the Inquisitor. His world fell over itself as the Inquisitor placed a boot to his chest and kicked him off. Wind fled his lungs as he hit the ground. The Inquisitor pounced, its hands locking around Cal's throat. Cal strained, gasped as his lungs burned, and his vision grew spotted. He fumbled and grabbed at the Inquisitor's belt, closing on the sharp edge of a dagger. Steel cut into his palm as he wrenched the blade free. He plunged in desperation into the Inquisitor's side. Again, and again, and again. The Inquisitor jolted, yowling as Cal continued his onslaught. The man's hands flew to clutch at the hilt stuck in his side. Cal squirmed free, scrambling back to create some distance, and watched as his opponent collapsed, spasming as blood pooled underneath him. Cal dipped 2 fingers into the crimson pool and sniffed. No chemical scent, just the slight smell of iron. Real blood, not tainted like the others. Puzzled, he flipped the body over to get a better look at his opponent's face. The Inquisitor was young, barely out of his teens, judging by the wisps of scruffy hair on his chin. Younger than any Inquisitor Cal had seen before. The flush of color in the boy's cheeks faded as what little life he had left in him drained. Another body to add to Cal's list. Another reason for Ovette to think him a monster. A blast in the distance jerked his head up and sent a fresh wave of panic down his spine. He closed the boy's eyes and ran. Ahead, one of the prefects that had chased Ovette writhed on the ground, clutching his arm. The cheap iron bracer fused to his flesh. "No! Leave me alone!" Ovette's scream pierced the air. Cal ignored the dying man and sprinted in the direction of Ovette's voice, pumping his legs harder. He couldn't lose her. He wouldn't lose her again. "Get away!" Another blast, followed by an intense flash of white light, erupted from the second floor of a building in front of him. He hit the building's door full sprint, splintering it off its hinges. Silence reigned inside. Cal bounded up the stairs, taking them 2, 3 at a time, blood roaring in his ears. At the top, a charred prefect lay half fused with the wall. Cal stepped through a hole into a ruined room. Its wall and everything inside it was scorched, its original purpose unrecognizable. The final prefect was nowhere to be seen. Ovette sat on her knees in the room's center, hands outstretched, trembling, her gaze locked with the corpse behind Cal. They tried to. Her voice failed. Cal crouched as he inched closer. He reached for her hands, her skin still warm and vibrating with the gift she had loosed upon her attackers. She recoiled, seeing his palm drip with blood. Clutching her hands to her chest, her wild eyes met his. "Cal?" she muttered. "Cal, they were going to. But I didn't want to." He reached out again, held her hands in his, and pulled her in close. "It's okay. It's okay." She collapsed into his chest, her body shaking with each intensifying sob. "I killed them, Cal." Her words were weak and defeated. "I killed them." "They would have done worse to you." Ovette pushed herself off him, desperation etching her face. "But Cal, they had—" "They didn't have a choice." He cut her off, holding her gaze and wanting nothing more than to take this feeling away from her. "I know this hurts. Believe me, I know. But we can't stay here right now. We need to go." "Where?" she croaked, her voice strained and high-pitched. "Veilwind," he replied, pulling her in close as fresh sobs took her. "I'll take you to Veilwind, away from all this." "But Cal, I—" He squeezed tighter. "I know," he whispered. "I know."